recovery teams are going from house to house in search of missing people. No official figures been released, but the local authorities say at least 100 are unaccounted for. All along Greece's charred coastline, entire neighbourhoods are gone. The village of Mati was popular with retirees and young families escaping the capital.
Most of we have found burning pets.
Pets?
Dogs, cats, ducks, chickens, that they were trapped in the yard and you could not escape when the fire arrived.
There was sort of a very real possibility of finding people that may have died here too.
For sure. But I personally believe that most of missing are in the sea.
Police and search and rescue teams have entered this property. The woman who lived here is listed as missing. She's also known to have had mobility problems too. This is an incredibly arduous task for these teams. The house is empty, no trace of the woman or two other people who lived here. The search must continue.
There were two people died there, a couple.
Harris has lived in the town of Mati his whole life. When the fire swept through here, he sealed himself inside his house. Surrounding homes were destroyed. His is unscathed. Several of his neighbours were killed.
It was like a sea of fire, a wave of fire approaching actually. So it was burning everything that it was on the second floor or third floor on buildings. My house is only ground floor, so it just passed over, the heat wave passed over my house. I felt like I'm surrounded and protected from the higher buildings.
Many of the settlements along this coast sprang up in the 1970s and 80s. Houses were built without official permission. Fire safety was scarcely considered. When people tried to flee the fire, they found escape routes to the sea blocked by locked gates or only accessible down narrow channels. This is where many of the fires started, high in the hills above the seaside resorts that fringe the Aegean Sea a few kilometres away from here. Several days after the inferno ripped through this area, the ground still smoulders in places. It's still hot underfoot. The fear is now that when rain does come, it will lead to mudslides. Storm clouds gather over Athens. The promise of a break in the weather to extinguish any remaining fires and cool the scorched earth. Neve Barker, Al Jazeera, Mati.